What's good, clan? It's your boy T Senpai. We're here with Animotions, and we're here today with Monica Rial. This is where anime meets mental health, and we're joined by this lovely voice actress, and we're gonna get her thoughts and experience on the world of anime. Welcome, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And so, like I said, we're honored by Monica's presence and some of her most iconic voices, running down from my most personal favorite, Merleona Vermilion, Asu from My Hero Academia, as well as Tashigi from One Piece.
I get all the strong ladies.
Yes, the best ones. All, by the way, are my top favorites. Just throwing that out there.
Oh.
The only one from that list is Noelle. I do love me some Noelle Silva as well.
She is badass. 100%.
So I know we were just talking about cons, Monica. So when fans come up to you at conventions, what character do you think they ask you about the most?
It really depends. So, like, my husband is a businessman, and it's really sweet because he'll always give me these ideas about how to, make things more fluid and better. And so he's like, you really need to start to see, like, keep tabs of, like, who's more popular in what areas. Do you know how many cops and cards to take? And I'm like, yeah, that's really smart. You tried that. So, like, everywhere you go, it's totally different. And it's so weird because, I'd say Bulma, Froppy, Marileona, Mary Jane, those are going to be pretty popular everywhere. But, like, I just went to a con where my top seller was Tanya from the Saga of Tanya the Evil. So, and sometimes it's ghost stories and sometimes it's something completely different. You just never know. And it's so funny to me, but I love that because you could get really stagnant at a con if, like, all I'm talking about is one character. It would probably get really old and, like, okay, I love this character, but you guys, how many more things can I tell you about this one character? Whereas because I'm constantly talking about one of 700, that I don't get bored because I'm constantly like, oh, well, you're pulling this anime from way back in 1999. Let me tell you about it.
I was gonna say too, and that's probably tough, right? Because you have to literally be a memory bank for all the bodies of work that you had touched.
Which is crazy because, like, I tell people, and this might be like my weird ADHD ability, I don't know, but, like, for the longest time, I could tell you everything about what show I did, who the director was. I could give you experiences while recording it. I couldn't tell you what I ate for breakfast, but I could tell you all that.
I'm so with you. That's it. I can literally remember my clients' best friends' names, right?
But then, like, regular, like, I have no idea. So it's just one of those things where it's like, now because of this simul dubs, we move so quickly. So now it's kind of weird because I feel like anything pre 2014, I can tell you so much about. I can tell you eons about. But anything past, like, 2015, other than, like, the big shows, like, some of those shows, like, people will bring it up to me and I'm like, I get it, but I was only in one episode, so I spent like 30 minutes working on it, and I completely forgot.
Yeah. And so kind of going right into my next question too, right? Like, what do you think still excites you about the voice acting work for anime?
I think, you know what it is? I can play anything. One of the things that always bothered me about stage and film is that you are put into a box and it's like, okay, what do you look like? You are this race, you're this gender, you're this, you're that. You are put in these boxes and it's like, to break out of that is almost impossible. So in voice acting, it's like, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter if you are disabled or able-bodied. It doesn't matter if you have autism or not. You can, like, the world is your oyster. Like, anybody can do this. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so exciting for me, is that I'm constantly challenged. Like, there's constantly new stuff. Like, if I was playing, like, there was a period of time where I played, like, every little girl at Funimation. But now, like, I'm getting to play more. And so, like, every time I go in, like, I just went in for a grandma, and then I went in for a little girl, and then I went in for a dog. So it's like you're constantly doing all of these different things. But yeah, it's super fun.
The world is ever changing every day.
Yeah, it's constantly different. And so I also have really, really bad ADHD. And so my first job, or my career before voice acting was I was a hairstylist. And so that kept me entertained because it was new people constantly. Like, oh, okay, I'm talking to a new person. This is cool. But anime and voice acting is taking it to a new level because now it's like I get to be a completely different person, or I get to live a completely different set of circumstances. And that's what excites me.
That's really cool, actually. I hear you. But it sounds like you were like a therapist in your previous life.
I mean,
Listen, I know for me, when I had hair, my barber was my personal first therapist. That was the first person that heard all my stuff. So I will say, you guys are the first line of defense right next to primary care doctors.
that is true. That is true. I will say I still have some friends that were clients from back then. Now they come see me at the cons and stuff, so it's really cool. Um but I was that girl, like it was late 90s, early 2000s when the bald fades were like all the rage. And so I had two brothers, and so it's like, yeah, give me those clippers. Just
There you go. Yeah. See, good practice. Good practice at home. That's where it starts.
plus, like all these really great people coming in, like DJs and fun dudes, and like Saturday morning.
Meet new people too.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's fun.
So this is just a different version of that.
There you go. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Much less hair, which is nice.
Less hair, right? Less hand labor.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Oh yeah. So as I was saying, Mira Leona is one of the most powerful women in anime. She's definitely one of my top favorites. What do you think initially drew you to her and excited you about playing her?
Well, I mean, one of the things so what's funny about Mara Leona is, we discussed this, but just for everybody else, when I started Black Clover, I was Nero, just the little bird, and I would go in there, and I loved it. I would go in there and go, "Caw, caw, 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 caw," and that was it. I was like but I kept telling the director, I was like, "I feel like something's up with that bird." Like, I've done enough anime to know that that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I let it go, and then, months later, maybe even a year later, I had some stuff go down on the internet, and people were attacking me, and it was just a bad time, and the director of Black Clover came up to me, and he goes, "Hey, I get the feeling that right now you'd really like to yell at people. Do you wanna yell at people?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I wanna eat some people yelling at. Let me get this aggression out." And so that was Mara Leona. And so when Mara Leona came along, she came along in a part of my life when I needed strength. I really needed to find the strength within me. And so we joked about yelling at people, but honestly, getting in there and yelling and getting to be this not, she's aggressive, but also super vibrant and charming. And so, like, getting to get in there and do that kind of healed part of me that I was dealing with on the outside. And so she's a big deal to me, and she always will be. But so she wasn't one of those characters that I sought out and was like, "Oh yeah, that's a character for me." It was more that she found me in a way, as weird as that might sound. Like she found me, and so that was what I needed at that one time. And so Mara Leona has been incredibly healing for me, and also incredibly empowering. Like, you play strong women long enough, and it's that whole thing that they tell you your whole life about affirmations and all this stuff. And it's so true, guys. If you say those words and they come out of your mouth, you start to believe it, no matter how ridiculous it might feel. And I can tell you, I am 100% more badass now.
To have that confidence though, right? Like, and I think, like you said, affirmations are so important because you say it so much, right? You have no choice but to believe it and be it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's so true.
found her, or that's rather she found you. when you needed her, right?
When I needed her the most, and honestly, like, it was also a time where I was and which I'm getting back to now, but I was, like, super in the gym, and so she empowered me in that way too, so she was just a really great I feel like and this is just life, and you can call it God, the universe, whatever you wanna call it, I'm an equal opportunity person here, but I feel like I have been brought characters or I have gotten characters in times when I really needed that in my life. And Mara Leona is the perfect example of like being really downtrodden and feeling defeated, and then having this character come into my life that completely changed things. And it's like, no, wait, you are a badass. Like, don't forget this about yourself.
Absolutely, get your ass up, right? Don't forget who you are. That's right.
And you don't know that. Like, get up and get out of bed and do your stuff. And that's so she taught me that. And it was a huge lesson I needed to learn.
No, no, I seriously, I love that. And the universe does provide, right? Like when we need some things, the universe truly will provide for us when we're open to it. I think that's really the big thing. So with Mary Leona, like we said, I know that for me, and I know for a lot of fans, that confidence and that fearlessness that she exudes, is really something that excites us and really something that we all kind of see in. And it sounds like with you, that's something that you resonate with as well.
Yes, 100%. Like dealing with her and learning more about her. And in the beginning, like even trying to be like, can I be this boisterous? Should I be a little more? And the director was like, no, I want her to be there. I want her to be this presence. So yeah, it's just one of those things that she really did. And so I can tell now, like when people come up to me and they're talking about anime and they're like, this particular character really affected me. I get that because they affect me too, just probably in a different way. So it's one of those things too that now when I speak to the fans and they're like, man, this character really spoke to me, I completely understand because they speak to me too. Different way.
No, it's so serious. And it's funny because it's like, and as you were saying that, I was like, it's like some of my sessions with some of my clients, like I needed that session with them more than they needed it with me.
Right?
And they don't even realize how much they helped me. And it just like, we get so much from it, but she is just such a powerful body that you can just really resonate with. And I think, whether you're a man or a woman, you can respect that exuberance. And I love that you're so boisterous with her. And that's like one of the things personally I love about her, is she is loud and she is proud and she doesn't give a damn.
Right. And it's been so much fun to get to play two completely different characters in this world.
Sakura. Oh my gosh, yes. And I mean, Sakura is just like your
Confident, but in a completely different way. But you have the one that is like, I'm going to speak up. I'm so loud. There's no way you're ever going to silence me. And the one that's like, I'm only going to speak up if I need to, because I don't need to like argue with you guys. I'm not that. She can do that. I'm going to stand over here quietly and wait for my opportunity.
That's how badass I am. That's how
I don't need to fight.
pretty much. And so Black Clover, it's really the whole universe, right? I think is built around, perseverance and surpassing your limits. And so I know we talked about that. How do you think, in not just in that time in your life, but even now today, do you think you connect with that in your life and your career?
I mean, it's just such a good message because I think no matter who you are and what you deal with on the daily, we all have those days where you're like, I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I mean, as much as I love my job, there are days that I don't want to get in my car. I don't want to get on the freeway. I don't want to travel. I don't want to have to fix my hair. I don't want to leave my cats. Whatever it is, we all have those days of just, I don't want to. And that is the reminder of like, no, you have to. Like, just do it. Just do it. And it'll be fine. Like, just keep going, keep moving. You'll be okay. Like, just get that system out of your head. So now I have a thing like whenever I don't want to. Whenever I have a don't want to day, I always give myself 5 minutes to be I'm like, let me give myself 5 minutes to wallow in my pity. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. And then it's like, okay, you've had your time.
Do a little
Let's
bit of
go.
grounding, right? We do a little bit of grounding, self processing, and then we say, all right, we're not done
Let's
yet.
go.
Let's go.
Let's keep going. And I think that's a good message because, like, I've been through some crazy stuff in the last few years, but you have to find a way to keep going. No matter how hard life gets, you have to find a way to keep going because no matter what, it's got to get better, right? No matter where you are, it has to get better
And,
if you're open to it.
and honestly, like, I remember when Leona, like, her backstory kind of came into play. And it's interesting even you saying that because, like, sometimes you just gotta, like, focus on what you need. And for her, it wasn't being around other people. It was, like, rather going into isolation. And go in isolation, like, she found herself, right? She not only found herself physically, mentally, she found her strength, and she came back a true lion from the jungle, right? Every sense of the word.
Exactly. And I feel like that's a huge message too for people. It's like sometimes you need to just step back and sometimes you need to reassess. Like I've done that many times in my life. I'm like, okay, something feels off. Let me reassess. Who am I spending my time with? Who am I doing? Like, what is the thing that is out of place? And sometimes just taking that time to self-reflect and go, okay, and then come back. You can come back with so much more power because you do know who you are and you're confident in your choices and stuff. So I totally get that too. There's so much of her that is just so ingrained in me.
Yeah, at this point, I believe it. I believe it. And do you think besides Leona, do you think anime characters can genuinely influence someone's confidence or mental health?
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. They have affected mine. Like 100% genuinely. Like I've had so many days where I'm having a rough day or whatever, and I go in to record and I come out just smiling because I'm like, how can you be mad after you've been in there and played a little girl that's playing with a doll or whatever? Like it can affect your whole situation. And so one of the things that I love most about anime is people have shared how it follows them along their life journeys. And how sometimes they will mark life moments by what show they were watching at that time. And I don't think that would be possible if it weren't for those characters being so dynamic. And one of the things that I think anime does so well is like you take a show like My Hero and you've got all of these kids in that class, but everybody that watches that show can find one of those kids that they identify with or they see themselves in. And that I think is something that Japan has figured out that we haven't quite figured out stateside is that if people can see themselves in the characters, they tend to attach more. Because if you can see yourself and you can see, oh, that's like me and my buddy, that's like me and my best friend, that's like me and my girlfriend, then you have this relationship with that character that's kind of like what I tell Dragon Ball fans. Like, I would watch those guys like go to the laundromat. Like I would watch them do anything because those characters are so dynamic and so touching, and we're so connected to them. So yeah, I really do feel like if you're having a bad day, you can put on an anime, a character that empowers you, and then watch that and feel like, oh, you know what, I got this. If Leona says I can do it, I can do it. And I think that's brilliant. And I love that there are so many people that are finding healing and finding ways to deal with, just the world, because the world right now is insane. And dealing with it through anime, you gotta find the thing that makes you happy and you gotta find the thing that makes you smile, especially in times like these. Because when times get hard, you gotta find that one thing that's gonna keep you going and keep you excited. And that's what anime for.
That one show, that constant, right? That one character,
Yeah.
you see, hearing that one phrase, and
Exactly.
You saying that, it automatically brought me back to a time in my life where I went back and I finished Naruto, and it was right when my first child, was born. And so literally, it was a very transformative era in my life, and I think it helped me kind of with that transition and transformation. So as you were saying,
Yeah.
I was getting like flashbacks of me sitting with her as a baby at like 5 a.m. on the couch, like with my wife, trying to give my wife a break, and just
Yeah,
one
that's
for the
what she
show.
does.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's almost like your memories are aligned with the anime at the time. And I experienced that before I ever even got into anime because my brother, I've told the story a million times, but my brother, we would go to Spain in the summers to go visit my family, and my brother doesn't speak Spanish very well. And so he would wake me up at like 7 o'clock in the morning to come translate these shows for him. And one of them was Las Bolas de Dragón, which is Dragon Ball. So I had to sit there and sit with him and watch it and describe it and everything. But like now I look back at that time in my life and I can't look at it without Dragon Ball. Like Dragon Ball was such a huge part. Like we went all over Spain looking for manga. We were looking for any action figures. It was long before it came
Yeah,
to
before
the
it was
US.
huge.
Yeah. And so that to me, like thinking of that time period, yeah, I think about my grandmother and I think about my family, but I also think about like what a huge part Dragon Ball was and all of that.
And how full circle is it now that you're playing ball?
It's insane.
Right?
It's absolutely insane. I tell people this all of the time, but I'm going to tell your listeners here, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.
Everyone listen up.
Life will give you these weird little, almost like hints of what is coming down the pipeline. You don't realize it, but if you start paying attention to what's around you, life will give you little nuggets of like, you don't know this yet, but this is going to be a big deal in your life later on. I have two examples of this. The first is that when I was a kid, my best friend was from Japan, and she would bring back stuff from Sanrio. And I fell in love. Like we loved all the Sanrio stuff. Every summer she would bring back more. My first job at 15 years old, because I could speak Spanish, was at a Sanrio store.
Oh, no way.
So then when I became a voice actor and the Hello Kitty's animation theater came through, I auditioned, but I was like, there's no way. There's no way that Sanrio is gonna cast me as Hello Kitty. There's just no way. So when I got the role, it was like, whoa, what happened? Like the stars aligned or something. And then Dragon Ball's the other one where it's like I was on my abuelita's couch watching the show with my brother. And years later, to be able to call him and be like, hey, you're never going to guess what, but I'm going to be playing Bulma. And he's like, woo, we just had this wonderful brother sister moment. Wonderful moment. But yeah, that was another one where it's like I had no idea that Dragon Ball was going to become such a huge part of my life, but now looking back, I can see all of the little like breadcrumbs that life was like, hey.
Loki said, even from early on. So guys, listen, gems from Monica. Pay attention.
I'm telling you, even my first panel I ever did was with Sean Simmel and Eric Bale.
No way.
And so I should have known then that like this is where I'm meant.
This is what's gonna happen. This is what's happening. So you got to be excited because Super is getting ready to come back, right?
We're all so excited. We are so thrilled because it's been, I think since 2018 is when we wrote Super. And we got 4 episodes of Daima, which is like a little tease. But now we're like, okay, we're ready to get back in the booth. So I think it's probably going to end up being one of the best versions of Dragon Ball, one of the best seasons, because we're all so stoked about getting back in the booth.
Without any spoilers, we're all eagerly waiting the return of Black Clover. What excites you the most about the future of that series coming up?
I feel like Black Clover found its audience. Like people started watching and started really getting into it. And then they were like, bye.
Yeah, they left us.
And so we had that movie, and that was great. I love the movie, don't get me wrong. But
yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like the fandom has been growing and growing and growing, and anticipation has also been growing. So it's like, I think we're just all going to be so excited for it to come back. I know that I'm thrilled because I tell everybody like Mara Leone is my free therapy.
Yeah, no, and it like you said, the growing fan base. So I was literally at my local gas station where I get my like morning coffee up here, Stewart's, and I had my anime jacket on, my Akatsuki jacket, and the woman across from me was like, "I just have to tell you, I love your jacket," and she showed me her kunai tattoo. So I'm like, "Oh, I love that," and we started talking about it. She's been reading and watching Black Clover, and that's been her main show. So every time we go in there, she's like, "Okay, so I just got to this part," and I'm like, "Okay, all right, Spade Kingdom's coming. Just hang out."
Right now, there are two things that warm my heart about the world. There are only two things, but that's okay. World Cup fans like coming to here and watching their reactions of the States. I'm like, okay, finally. Okay, this is a good part. There's so much crap. Here's the good. But also anime fans coming together and seeing anime fans like even line. Like I will see people like make friendships and exchange phone numbers while they're waiting in line because they met somebody that loves the same show they do, or seeing people out in the wild that are like, oh man, I love your shirt. Oh, and then they end up talking about anime in the corner for 30 minutes. Like I really feel like anime is one of the few things that could be like the great you know, thing to bring us together, honestly, to bind us back
Yeah,
together.
absolutely. No, and I 100% agree with that. And I've even since we've last spoke, I've broken out my sewing machine and I've started taking some of my old anime shirts that like no longer fit me, and I'll cut them up and sew them onto some stuff. I made a Dragon Ball shirt last night, actually. Too funny. Yeah, so I'll have to show you that one later. Wait, and I meant to wear. Oh, I'll show you real quick. So I made this so that when the season starts, I'm ready.
Yeah, I love it.
Cut out, so we got the full on tap stairs. I'm ready, officially black gold out and ready to join you guys with season 2.
I wish I knew when.
I think we're coming in October. They said that they
Okay, good.
October. I've been
Okay, my birthday is
faithfully
October
asking the
5th.
question.
So that would be a great birthday gift if they would make us.
I have a massive question for you, actually.
Go for it.
If Mare Leona had to become a mentor for class 1A from MHA, how long would it take before everyone quit?
I think that everybody would quit but two people.
Okay.
I think that everybody would quit except for Deku,
Okay.
because Deku is a glutton for punishment sometimes. So
Clearly.
I think she would see actually, I'm going to say three. I think she would see the propensity in her to be a good teacher. So he would probably stick around. I think Mineta would stick around because Mineta certainly seems like a step on me mommy kind of guy, if you know what I'm saying. I'll leave it there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third one that I just decided on is probably Bakugo, because Bakugo and his like fire dynamics went probably like
Perfectly. Oh, my God. Now that would be his star pupil.
yes.
Her star
The
pupil.
two of them,
Yeah.
they would get along really well. But I also feel like you would feel like she'd have to knock him down a few pegs.
Oh, you know
She'd probably have to pick him up by the head.
No, she would.
That would be fun though.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that matchup, honestly. Yeah. So one of the goals of Animotions is showing people how anime can help navigate mental health challenges. Like you were talking about, we think Japan and in the anime world is really starting to figure it out. And so why do you think, like we said a little bit more, do you think people connect so deeply with those anime characters?
Because so I studied a lot of abnormal psychology when I was in college because I thought I wanted to be a profiler. So I studied a lot of abnormal psych, and I go back to that a lot because it helps kind of explain, I think, why people get so attached. One of the first questions I used to get a lot from parents, especially, is like, hey, my kid is autistic and they're super into anime and I don't understand it. And I don't understand why this genre. And so this is just completely me. I haven't done any studies. I don't know, but I have a tendency to believe that the reason most autistic people are drawn to anime is because emotions are worn on your sleeve, right? If somebody's upset, you get a hashtag. If somebody is nervous, you get a sweat drop. There's no question about what anybody's feeling. It's very much out there. I was like, that's just my opinion. But I've also seen that people have the ability, that what we talked about earlier, the ability to see yourself in a character. And I've seen that especially with Suyu in My Hero, because I have kids all the time that'll come up and ask me, like, do you think Suyu is autistic? Do you think Suyu is asexual? Do you think that Suyu is like, to come up with all of these things? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what you think. Like, do you see them that way? Because that's the truth. Like, it really doesn't matter. And I really think that that's the thing um that actors, we try to kind of leave it open to interpretation a little bit so that people can see themselves. But also too, I have to give credit to the Japanese, because I really think that that is something they have figured out, that we are getting there, but not quite there yet. And that's the writing and stuff. Yeah, it's trying to be able to see, like, as cool as superheroes are, if you can't see yourself in them, we're not going to connect in the same way as we do with anime. Because also too, the and I guess our superheroes have flaws too, but I mean, in anime, like, if you have somebody that is the hero always has flaws. They're not perfect. They're not, everybody has their own quirks and flaws, just like we do in the real world.
I
And I think
agree
that
with that
that's
so
huge.
much. I agree with that so much because I think that's the difference, right? In like American superheroes, we see like these unflawed versions, right? It usually takes a while before we see a character's flaws, right? And yeah, automatically I think about Superman, right? We didn't find out about kryptonite until like later on down the line when Lex Luthor discovered it. But anime characters, it's humanistic emotion because they're wearing their emotions on the sleeve. Every battle, every fight, every conversation, and it makes me think about Windbreaker, because in Windbreaker, fighting is how they conversate. And so for me, and that's no powers. They're just brawling in that one. And so like I think like you said, people can just see themselves a little bit more in that and a little bit more realism in that.
Another example is, I'm not going to say the name of the show because this would totally spoil it, but I'm in an older, it's sports anime, but it's more about the girls playing the sport than it is about sport. But when we got to the end of the show, we thought, because they go and they're going to go play against the other teams, and you think, okay, they're going to go win. They're going to win. They lose. They lose. And at the end, the whole point is, like, you've been going up to this thing and then they lose. And I think that it, as much as it shocked me, because I was still pretty new to anime, I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Right.
And it's like, but that's reality. You don't always win. Sometimes you work really hard all the way up to the day and you don't win, but life goes on, and life goes on. And that was one of the first times that my mind was open of, like, oh, they're telling us real life stories. Like, this is super people and super circumstances, but real life.
And it's so funny that you were saying that about Sue and about like everyone's questions about her and about how they wanted you to kind of give them your interpretation because I feel like she's one of the characters in that class and in the entire show's universe that really often models healthy communication and emotional intelligence from a character who speaks kind of in a broken way, which I think was so funny. And so do you think anime like it sounds like we were saying really that anime is getting better at portraying emotional wellness?
100%. I think that they're showing young people how to communicate emotions without being, bad without, you don't have to call somebody names in order to fix a situation. You don't have to lower your vibe or whatever it is that you feel in order to make somebody feel put out.
Of your character.
Exactly. And I think that they're doing a really good job of showing healthy communication in a way that, yes, like when Suyu with the episode where she's speaking out to her friends, but like, if we do this, we're no better than the villains. Like, yes, it took a lot for her to stand up and say that. And yes, she was risking her friendships, but she was standing up for what she believed in that time. And her friends, I think, also in showing that they were accepting of her saying that stuff. That's another thing too, because there's a lot of people that if you say, hey, I don't think this is right, they're going to be like, well, screw you. That's not maybe the people you need to be.
Exactly, right?
I think that that's another thing too, is you're seeing this group of friends really work together to communicate and figure out what's right. And I think that that's the way it should be. Like, you should have a group of people around you, your tribe or your team or whatever you want to call them, that you bounce things off of, or you can be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. What sense can you make of it for me? So I think that they're very much showing people not only how to kind of communicate more healthfully, but also how to communicate more healthfully in a group dynamic, like how to react to your friends when they're in a difficult situation. Like that one episode where we're all calling out to Deku, like, hey, come back, we miss you. Like, all of that was so powerful. And, it's hard to even, because whenever I perform, I try to put myself in that situation. And so I'm thinking of Briner and like, what would I do if Briner had like gone out there and done something crazy? I'd want to like, and so you really do kind of pull that in as like and it teaches you how to communicate with people in a sense that like what you believe matters, but also how not to step on people's toes, or how not to make it about you, but make it about the group, which I think that unfortunately that's something that we've lost a little bit in this country, is that feeling of community. And so I feel like it's helping people bring that back. Say what you will about the My Hero fandom, they are very much a community. So
100%. 100%. I would actually argue that MHA's fandom and community is probably the least toxic of all of them. If you ask me. Sorry.
I'm not online. I don't know what happens there, but everybody I meet is absolutely lovely.
Yes, they're lovely people. That's right. And so, in terms of female representation and women's representation, not just in anime, but in voice acting, right? You voice some of the anime's strongest female characters. What do you think female representation means to you? And, especially when it comes to playing a character like Mira Leona, who breaks many traditional stereotypes about female characters, why do you think that's important?
Because kind of what we were talking about earlier, about how when you are on stage or on camera, you get put in a little box of how you look and all that. And I think that can happen gender wise too. Like, they can look at you as a woman and go, okay, well, she's going to be the pretty princess and she's going to need saving. Nah, we're going to tie her to a railroad, whatever, it'll be fine. And you never really get to be brought out of that. In fact, for a long time, storytelling was all about the poor woman that you had to go save. And that's one of the things that I really loved about anime, and I've watched it change over like the last decade and so, is watching those characters go from a little bit of, and we still have some of that, but the majority of it is, oh, nobody's going to come save me? Okay, well, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do what I have to do. And that is a message that I gravitated to, because my mom was always the mom that was like, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to do this. You don't ever have to touch a dish if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want. And so I kind of went into the world with this idea much different than my friends. And so now it's like watching that in anime and seeing somebody like Mira Leona that's like, I don't want to be a pretty princess. I want to fight. I want to be out there. Or even like Suyu. Like I was so excited in Heroes Rising when they had all of the dudes, Ida and Todoroki, and then Suyu's right there. And I was like, oh, like, and I think what it is that, as a woman, you can get pigeonholed, and a lot of the characters can be very much like just weak or not well written because they're focusing on the male characters. And that's the one thing that anime does so well, is that they can create well-rounded female characters. Now, are there some like, yeah, sure, you watch some ecchi and it's going to be exactly what you expect to be. But then, there are some ecchi, like I did Senran Kagura, where it's all a bunch of badass. Like,
Right, exactly. It's completely different, and I love that's what we're getting more now, right? And
yeah,
I love that they're going beyond the typical trope. You boys, one girl, right? Like it's beyond that now, right? We don't need the 3-man team up anymore. We can do a whole team of ladies, and it can be a great show.
I absolutely love that shows like Laid Back Camp and shows like that are just about a bunch of people hanging out. I'm in a show called Farming Life in Another World right now, and it is so chill. It's like the Stardew Valley of anime. But it's one of those things where it's full of strong ladies. But instead of going out and fighting, they're like, you know what? We're going to farm, and you guys are going to watch us, and you're going to be thoroughly entertained.
Listen, now that free run's over, I need some slice of life.
Well, there you go.
All about it. I wrote it down. I'm definitely gonna check that out. No, absolutely.
It's very chill, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you can have these strong female characters. They're not always out there kicking butt. Sometimes they're farming, and that's okay.
That's right. And they're just holding it down, right? Because, and I hate to say it, but that's the many hats that women have to wear, right? And I say have to because the world unfortunately doesn't give you guys a choice, but
right. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I have people come up and be like, oh, what is children? And I'm like, I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old if you're talking about cats.
right, like, I'm fine. Listen, I know for a fact life has not been any less kind to you.
Oh gosh, no, that's what I tell people all the time is I'm like, I did not follow the traditional route, and that's perfectly okay, because now I feel like the anime fan, like everybody that comes up to me kind of is my kid in a way. I'm like,
We are.
I don't joke. I'm like, I'm the mom that your mom put you in front of to watch anime. So you're welcome, children.
You raised us, that's right. You're raising the next generation, that's for sure.
So it makes me so happy when I see the people that I watched grow up watching anime now bringing their children to shows. And I'm like, oh, here comes the next generation.
Yes, that's
It's been really fun. Yay. I love it.
Couple of quick questions before we go.
Yeah.
Mary Leona, is she the strongest captain in Black Hole?
Oh, by far, in my opinion. Now, I might be a little biased, but I think she's the strongest by far. I think that she also kind of watches herself. I'm kind of sad that Yami yeeted out of the fight, because I feel like Yami is the only time that she wouldn't hold back. She'd be like, I'll show you.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like we saw a little bit of it in the movie, but I feel like she could probably even go harder than that.
I really want to see those two go all out.
Yes.
Those two all out would be nuts. I can't wait for that.
Trust me, the Bulma inside me is just waiting for the day that I get to kick Christopher Sabat's butt. It's just waiting.
Would you say that Suyu is one of the most underrated heroes of My Hero Academia?
By far. Hello, listen to this voice. It's amazing. But also, I think she's underestimated because of the frog thing. I think people sleep on her a little bit because, like, oh, she's a frog. We forget how amazing frogs are and what cool stuff they can do. Like,
Right.
got so many quirks, and she has even shown us all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my gosh. People, like you said, slept on, low key, one of the best heroes.
That's great. And she also, like, when people were talking about the trader or whatever, and people would ask me, do you think it's Suyu? And I was like, well, no, but man, she'd make a great villain if she did the
That would have been nuts. So, oh my, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, she would make
Very
me smell it.
like, especially to Kolchako too.
Yeah, can you
I
imagine?
can't imagine how that would have played out.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, that would have got real weird real quick. Real quick. And last one. Which fandom is the loudest? Black Clover, My Hero, One Piece, or Dragon Ball?
Oh, the loudest. I love you guys. I'm gonna go with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. Just because now at this point you've got generations of families, so it's not just dad and son. It's like great grandpa and grandpa, dad and son. So like
Oh, yeah.
when I see the whole families that come and they're all like, even down to the baby, like everybody's cosplaying Dragon Ball characters. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's truly a family.
Listen, Trunks was up there in the running for the name for my son. If I wasn't gonna do a third, trust me, me and my wife would have had to fight that one out. So I feel you. I feel you on that, and that's like one of my tattoo ideas. If I can ever talk myself back into signing up for the pain, I want to get one of me as Vegeta, my daughter as Bola, and my son as Trunks.
That's adorable.
This old dude, right? Like all three to get bang, like how? But I know that's so much pain.
Yes. It's not, but it would be super cute. And if you ever do it, I need to see it. That's all I'm out.
I will show you immediately. Absolutely.
I love it.
So, Monica, before we go for today, is there anything else that you would like to tell your fans about any upcoming projects that you're excited about? Where they can find you,
yeah.
how to support you?
Let's see. So follow me is pretty easy. Right now, I'm predominantly on Instagram. I'm toying with getting back on TikTok, but that little thing that popped up really scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh yeah, at TikTok, I'm still learning myself. I'm with you.
Okay, well, I'm on Instagram, definitely. And then as far as stuff, and I'm at Rialism, so RIALISMS. And then on stuff coming up, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Next season, or I think it's next season. Well, we have the Saga of Tanya the Evil season 2 coming up. So that'll be awesome. And then we know Black Clover is coming, I'm assuming in October. That'll be awesome. I don't know when Dragon Ball Super Beerus is coming yet, but I know it's supposed to be before the end of the year. So, or that's what the announcement they made said. So if all goes well, I'm hoping that's the case. And then what else? Oh, I've got some other stuff that's really, really cool and not anime related, but I can't talk about it yet. So
Okay. Well, hopefully, as we wait for it to come down the pipeline, we'll be in touch and we'll drop some run nuggets for me too.
happy.
Well, thank you so much for all your time today, Monica. I really appreciate you. Any Emotions is all thank you. Any Emotions is all about finding your strength through anime. And if you could leave fans with one message about resilience, self-belief, and overcoming challenges, what would it be?
Affirmations. Go do your affirmations. It's gonna feel weird at first, and if you can do it in a mirror, even more power to you. But go in there, tell yourself how awesome you are, how much you love yourself. Tell yourself it's gonna be a good day. If it doesn't end up being a good day, tell yourself later, hey, I'm sorry it wasn't a good day, but tomorrow is gonna be the one. I feel like that is such a huge lesson that I've learned. And like I said, it's going to feel silly, but just keep at it because eventually you will reap the rewards from that. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Words to live by. Don't talk about it, be about it. Much, Monica. The clan and I enjoyed our time together, and I appreciate you and every minute that you dropped with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for watching. And man, I just love you all. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, clan. Until next time. Peace.